The father of the bride. I attended a wedding in the Covenant Presbyterian Church in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 weeks ago. The bride was lovely, all 5'4" of her, in a gorgeous wedding gown encrusted with hand-sewn pearls all over the sleeves and bodice, and the handsome 6'4" West Point graduate groom was resplendent in his dress lieutenant's uniform. The grandfather of the bride has been my admired older brother for 65 years, and his wife has been my beloved sister-in-law for 52 years. I fell in love with the mother of the bride, my first and only niece, the minute I laid eyes on her, and we have had a special, though long-distance, relationship ever since. I believe we would be great friends even if we weren't related. The father of the bride, however, is the real hero of this account. Elise met Rick on October 7th, 1989, after the Army Duke football game. A fellow flight attendant friend had a cadet friend who came and brought along his friend. Elise came as a favor to her friend. They were introduced and they were married a year from the day they met. I asked Elise if they both knew immediately that they were destined for each other. She said, "I don't know if Rick did or not, but I knew." They became formally engaged at his June graduation, where he won the Congressional Medal of Honor award for having the highest grades in his class in his major, physical geography. They could not set a date for the wedding until the United States Army let him know when he could have time off. When the date was finally set for Columbus Day weekend, all kinds of wheels had to be set in motion, fast. A wedding with over 400 guests, a 300-guest reception, 7 bridesmaids, 7 groomsmen, a cadet honor guard, and the groom's family from Colorado and Wyoming would be a logistical nightmare no matter how long one had to plan. One difficulty was that Elise's mother, who is capable of organizing anything, and her brother were committed since last October to a 2-week midsummer mission trip with a crew from their church to put a roof on a church in Mexico. Elise took her father to help select the wedding dress while her mother was gone. When I saw it, I realized that Elise was probably as smart as her brilliant lieutenant. Her mother would have no doubt said, "Honey, let's look around and see if we can't find one that's almost as pretty and not quite as expensive." Herb was proud of his role as stand-in mother of the bride. "I just watched Elise's eyes," he said, "and the dress that made her eyes light up was the right one." He acquitted himself well at the rehearsal dinner barbecue, where he read a toast to Elise and Rick that he had written in the form of a poem to her. He had to dab his eyes when he sat down. The hot sauce made his eyes water, he explained. The day of the wedding, he walked his daughter down the aisle to the strains of Trumpet Voluntary. As straight and slim as he had walked down the same aisle at his own wedding 25 years ago. He kissed Elise just before he said his one line, "Her mother and I," flawlessly. He confessed later that he had gone to his workshop and practiced saying it right because he had teased Elise for years that he was going to say "her mother, not I," at her wedding. After the reception at Charlotte Athletic Club, we were waiting in the courtyard of the hotel to throw birdseed. Rice is bad for the birds. And we chatted. I walked with him and Karen to the curb as they followed the newlyweds to the automobile ride that was to start them on their journey to establish their new home, leaving their parents, forsaking all others, the wedding ceremony had said, just 3 hours earlier. Herb's heart overflowed his eyes. "It must be the Baxter in me," he explained, permanently bonding my heart to his. As he has been the only Baxter in the family for 25 years, I thought he had learned well. I remembered my Baxter father's tears when my fiancé asked his permission to marry me. My daddy said, "You can get married if you want to, but I'm not giving her away. She will always be my little girl." Herbert Lynch Harris was the most heroic Prince Charming at the wedding of Caroline Elise Harris and Richard Lane Ellis. Even if he did give her away, in his heart, Elise will always be his little girl.